Hello there. Welcome to Just the Discs. We talk about Blu-rays here. My name's Brian. And today we are returning to a topic that I enjoy very much, which is one of my favorite labels, and that is Indicator in the UK. You can check them out at powerhousefilms.co.uk. But they obviously, as we know, have American distribution as well now, and they're releasing things concurrently. So you have stuff coming out in the States and the UK. Not everything. So I would say definitely bookmark their website because there is a lot of interesting stuff that is region B locked. But I believe all the box sets I'm going to talk about today are available both in the UK and in the States. And they are very impressive box sets at that. They, really take chances at Indicator, and I think that's one of the things I love about them. They, instead of putting together a box set of a filmmaker that you are familiar with and that maybe there's a couple films of theirs that you don't know, but you know enough of them that you're going to buy it, Indicator goes ahead and digs out filmmakers and collections that are filled with movies that you've never heard of. A lot of, film fans haven't heard of them, and I really got to salute that because that is a big risk. But what they do when they put these sets together is they make them just so incredibly all-encompassing that it's hard to resist, and because they are so good at what they do, we keep getting their sets, and I hope that continues because I really do appreciate sort of an adventurous approach to releasing movies. So I'm going to start with one of the box sets. These have all been around this one especially has been around for a minute, but this is the Magic, Myth, and Mutilation box set. This is the micro-budget cinema of Michael J. Murphy, 1967 to 2015. And this set is an all sort of encompassing look at an overlooked British filmmaker, Michael J. Murphy. And I was really not aware of him at all until this set appeared on the horizon. He started early cutting his teeth on a variety of homemade 8mm shorts, and he had completed 3 feature-length productions by the age of 18, apparently. And then over the next 5 decades, he would go on to make more films across a variety of genres, dividing his production time between Greece, Portugal, and the UK, with family, friends, and local stage performers becoming his regular cast and crew in exchange for holidays in the sun. And sort of despite this huge prolific output, a total of more than 30 completed films over half a century, of which 26 only survive, Michael Murphy's work remains rarely seen and little championed, unfortunately. Now, thanks to this set, of course, he's getting quite celebrated. They were sort of fitfully available on videotape and barely represented on DVD. But this comprehensive, long gestating 10-disc Blu-ray set collection looks to rectify that situation once and for all. And it's boasting all new 2K restorations from archival 16mm and 8mm elements, as well as a number of new digital captures from Murphy's personal tape masters. So this is an extensive retrospective of the obsessive auteur's work, and it's bolstered by a wealth of bonus features, including surviving fragments from lost works and a 120-page book, all of which provide sort of a definitive account of the weird and wonderful world of Britain's great unheralded DIY filmmaker. So, as you can see, this is, I think, one of the largest box sets that Indicator ever made, and it's neat because they used a lot of actual disc cases. I'll show you a couple more sets where they're using the cardboard cases. I don't know how some collectors feel about those, but I always do like it when they use the real cases. And in a lot of these discs, you're getting, at least 4, if not more, features or shorts, and the aforementioned really nice book. Again, these are not booklets. that Indicator is putting out with their limited editions. This is a serious book. And it's, tons of essays. A bunch of essays in here. I wonder if do they have interviews with him? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, this is one of the most thick books I've seen in one of these sets. And this is such an extensive set that I have not really been able to get through all of it just yet. But I just want to mention what's here. So disc 1 contains all new 2K restorations by Powerhouse Films of Tristan and Isolde, Happy Ever After, Secrets, and Almost a Movie. Those are from 70, 74, 77, and 79, respectively. Their original mono audio. There is Murphy's Lore, Part 1, Origin, and this is 22 minutes. This is the first installment of a 3-part documentary exploring Michael J. Murphy's career, featuring archival interviews with Murphy himself and newly filmed interviews with actors Phil Linden, Judith Holding, Patrick Oliver, Steve Longhurst, and June Bunday. And then there's surviving fragments from lost Murphy works: Atlantis, City of Sin from 1967. That's about 6 minutes. Boadicea, 1968, 5 minutes. Gods and Heroes, 1971, 2 minutes. Seventh Day, first version, 1976, 7 minutes. Insight, 1978, 3 minutes. And Seventh Day, second version, 1979, 5 minutes. Plus outtakes from Second Day, second version. So that's all just in the first disc. That's a lot. There's just so much in this set here. Yeah, I'm just looking at that first box. I'll show you I'll pull these out as we do them. So that's the first disc, and then we have disc 2, and disc 2 that features all new 2K restorations by Powerhouse of the films The Cell, 1980, Stay, 1980, Death in the Family, Invitation to Hell, and The Last Night. Actually, this is the... Hold on a second. I mixed these up, I think. Rite of Spring, Road to Nowhere, Moonchild. Oh, that's because all that stuff is in this first set. So you have Invitation to Hell is maybe his most known work, and it's a very interesting, kind of bizarre. The only thing I could compare it to would be like some other, sort of Satan related movies. The Devil Rides Out. Maybe, the Hammer film, The Devil Rides Out, but like a more contemporary, more scrappy DIY version of that kind of story. You have a bunch of people in a house and things start to get a little crazy, and there's like this guy, and it's nuts. But I can see why it has a cult following. It's fascinating and definitely a discovery for me, one that I know a lot of people were aware of. But so that's an all new 2K restoration on this second disc in the first box, the first case. Audio commentaries on Invitation to Hell, Last Night with Murphy, Lydon, and Sally Duncan also. Audio commentary on Invitation to Hell with academic and writer Johnny Walker, and the Making of Invitation to Hell, and the Last Night alternative titles, Stay outtakes, original Stay 7-inch single, trailers, custom video log reel. It's so deep in terms of that stuff. Okay, so next we have disc 3, which has Quaylen from 1983, newly digitized and compiled from rare surviving tape sources, and all new 2K restorations by Powerhouse Films of Bloodstream, 1985, using Super 8 film elements from Michael J. Murphy's archives, alternative presentations of Quaylen under U.S. distribution title The Hereafter, early version of Bloodstream featuring alternative dubbing and 2 of the characters, which was pirated and distributed by against Murphy's wishes. And let's see here. Michael J. Murphy Presents 2015, 19 minutes, a career-spanning tribute made shortly after his death. 60mm test footage, material shot by him in the early 80s, Bloodstream promo, and more. A lot of these are world premieres on Blu-ray. Okay, so that's... each one of these is having 2 discs in it because this is a huge set. So then in addition to that, in the 4th disc, we have Tristan, 1986, newly digitized from original tape. Standard presentation of Death Run, standard definition, newly digitized and compiled from rare surviving tapes. 2 presentations of Tristan, the original 109-minute cut, and Murphy's 88-minute Legend of a Hero re-edit. And then Marilyn's Cave, a new 22-minute sort of footage of Murphy's friends and collaborators salvaging rare promotional materials, production equipment, props, and other material from the director's home shortly after his death in 2015. And then trailers, etc. We move on to the 5th disc, and that has Avalon, 1988, newly digitized from Murphy's original tape master, all new 2K restoration by Powerhouse of the film's Moonchild, 1989, using 60mm film elements from Murphy's archives. And then we have the second part of Murphy's lore, and this is called Method, 21 minutes, second installment of the 3-part documentary about Murphy's career, featuring archival interviews with the director as well as original regular Murphy actors Patrick Oliver, Phil Linden, in which they share insights and anecdotes about shooting the many films they did together, plus a bunch of trailers. And then we move on to disc 6, which has, that's this one here. That has Torment it's a new 2K restoration of Torment from 1990 and Atlantis from 1991 using 16mm film elements from the Murphy archives. Audio commentary on Atlantis with Murphy and actors Lyndon, Judith Holding, and June Bunday. I think some of this stuff had come out on DVD in some form or another, so you were able to get commentaries. This is from 2010 with Murphy himself before he passed. So that's exciting stuff. The Making of Atlantis from 2000, 7-minute archival retrospective documentary. Making of Atlantis 2009, alternative retrospective documentary prepared for a planned but unrealized DVD release. So they're really digging deep with the materials they've found. And then a bloopers reel from 87 to 91, 6 minutes of mishaps and mistakes from Murphy film sets. I'm sure that's amusing. Moving on, we have in disc 7, standard definition presentation of Second Sight, 1991, newly digitized from Michael J. Murphy's tape master, and all new 2K restoration by Powerhouse Films of Road to Nowhere 93 using 16mm film elements from the Murphy archives. Mike gives us a tour of his home and studio. 2014, the director hosts an intimate journey through his house and his career, revealing insights about some typically resourceful production techniques along the way. Alternative credits to Road to Nowhere. And then disc 8 includes the Rite of Spring from 95, and these are 2K restorations, and Tristan from 99 using 16mm film elements from Murphy archives. 2 presentations of the Rite of Spring, original version 90 minutes high def, and then the re-edited version 81 minutes standard def. 2 presentations of Tristan, the original version 108 minutes high def, and the re-edited version 102 minutes standard def, as well as Horror on Sea interview with Michael J. Murphy 2013, a 65-minute interview. The prolific filmmaker in conversation with his regular acting collaborators June Bunday and Phil Linden, recorded for the much-loved British Horror Festival, Horror on Sea. The Rite of Spring, behind the scenes, 1995, 41 minutes, and then alternative credits, etc. Okay, and then we are on to our last disc. So much stuff here, folks, just to go through it, and that's why it's taken me a long time to actually watch it all. But disc 9, standard definition presentation of Roxy from 2004 and Scare from 2009, newly remastered from Michael J. Murphy's digital archive. Audio commentary on Scare with Murphy and regular actor Judith Holding. Making of Roxy 2004, 13 minutes. Outtakes from Roxy and Scare. The Making of Scare 2009, 15 minutes. Scare alternative opening and credits. Scare script read-through, 2004, 47 minutes. So you get a 47-minute read-through of that script. You get a little bit of his process there. Surviving extracts and rehearsal footage from the 2001 version of Scare, 41 minutes. Oliver Price audio commentary on selected rushes from the 2001 version of Scare, and Michael J. Murphy on Chris Jupp's Beast, 2010, 5 minutes. Filmmaker discusses the 2009 remake of his original. Another Man's Poison, Murphy's short. And then disc 10, we have a standard definition presentation of ZK3 2012, newly mastered from his digital archive. High definition presentation of Necros. Isle of the Dead 2014, and The Return of Alan Strange 2015, newly remastered from Murphy's digital archive. And then we get the last part of that documentary, Murphy's Lore Part 3, Legacy. 25 minutes, the final installment of a 3-part documentary assessing Murphy's career and legacy, featuring interviews with British filmmakers, cinema programmers, and film historians and writers. So you get more of an appreciation in that last section. But overall, that's like a feature-length doc, at least with those 3 parts. The Making of ZK3, 2012, 11 minutes. ZK3 Premiere, 11 minutes. Mock Awards Ceremony. And Necros Behind the Scenes, 2014, 17 minutes and 54 minutes. 2 presentations, one fully edited and the other a rough assembly. Wish You Were Here, 2014, 3 minutes. Actor Phil Lyndon fronts a tongue-in-cheek video. And yeah, there's a few more trailers and things here, but that 120-page book that I showed earlier, with new essays by Wayne Magan, Daryl Buxton, Johnny Walker, and Paul Higson, and a comprehensive Michael Murphy filmography with full film credits. So this is just a ridiculous box set that really gives you an incredible overview of a filmmaker that you probably weren't aware of. I mean, I know, the hardcore cinephiles probably knew, something like Invitation to Hell, but I know a lot of us are hearing about him and seeing him for the first time. And I just think it's a really neat thing to do to celebrate this kind of filmmaker with this kind of set. And the amount of work that goes into a set this large is pretty remarkable. So kudos to one of my favorite labels for doing that. Definitely a really, really exciting set. One of the best releases of, I guess, last year, ultimately. It's taken me a while to get this on video, but great stuff. Okay, next up we have more in the horror vein with the Mexico Macabre. And this is 4 sinister tales from the Alameda Film Vaults, 1959 to 1963. And this goes with some of their previous Mexican horror releases, La Lorna, and I know they had another one that I'm blanking on right now. Really lines right up with those. So it's kind of continuing that, what they've been working on with that. But I know my podcast partner, Elric Kane, is a fan of this stuff. I can't remember if it was Black Pit of Dr. M or Witch's Mirror or The Brainiac or The Curse of the Crying Woman, but I know at least 1 or 2 of these he'd seen and really enjoyed. So this set, 4 titles from the vaults of one of Mexico's best-known film companies offer uniquely Mexican takes on ghosts, witches, and monsters familiar to fans of horror, cinema, and fiction. Fernando Mendez's Black Pit of Dr. M sees a doctor make a pact with his dying colleagues in order to learn the secrets of the afterlife. In Chano Urita's The Witch's Mirror, a murderer is tormented by the ghost of his dead wife, whilst in Urita's The Brainiac, a nobleman executed for necromancy returns in diabolical form to eradicate the lineage of his killers by sucking out their brains. Finally, in Raphael Balden's Curse of the Crying Woman, a young bride visits her aunt's Gothic mansion, where she finds that she is the descendant of one of Mexican folklore's most terrifying figures. With star-studded casts, beautiful photography, eerie production design, and bone-chilling atmosphere, these films have terrified audiences for decades and are now available in strictly limited, individually numbered Blu-ray box sets, which include an array of new features, including 4 new audio commentaries, a rare English language dub tracks, as well as art cards and a fully illustrated 100-page book. So, again, these cases are great. I should say, one of the other sets they've done like this is the Pamini organization, which I think I talked about on the channel at one point, but this is another collection of shorts and a couple features the hunted assassins and moments. Just a really neat collection, again, from a studio and from filmmakers that I wasn't aware of. And great construction of the box sets. These are all really nice, solidly constructed box sets that just feel great to hold, you know? Okay, so let's pull this out. So you've got your cards. You've got your... Again, this is a book. This is a really nice book with essays and pictures and color and just a beautiful matte finish. Just a really, really nice, you know, bound book. I love that. Let's see. Okay, so let's start with Black Pit of Dr. M. So that's the first disc here. This is a high definition remaster, original Spanish mono soundtrack. This is the only one I don't think has an English dub available. Audio commentary with film programmer, curator, and Mexican horror cinema expert Abraham Castillo Flores. That's brand new. Preserving a Legacy, new 2023 20-minute thing here. Daniel Berman Ripstein discusses the history of Mexico's celebrated Alameda Films and reflects on his relationship with his grandfather, the legendary producer and company founder Alfredo Ripstein, who also made a vital contribution to the preservation of Mexican cinema heritage. And you have Black Pit of Dr. Mendez, 23. That's a new 26-minute featurette. Eduardo de la Vega Alfaro, academic and author of Fernando Mendez 1908 to 1966, discusses the life and career of the pioneering filmmaker. So this has the original Spanish theatrical trailer and new English subtitles. This is a world premiere on Blu-ray. Very nice. Black Pit of Dr. M. Then we have The Witch's Mirror. And this one, high definition remaster. This one has the original Spanish mono soundtrack and the alternative English mono soundtrack. Audio commentary with film historian and Mexican cinema specialist David Wilt. That's brand new. Rosita Arenas at Mexico, Maleficarium. 22, that's from last year, 13 minutes. The celebrated actor in conversation with the film programmer, curator, and resurrector of the 20th century Mexican horror cinema, Abraham Castillo Flores, filmed at the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures in October of 22. Mondo Macabro Mexican Horror Movies, this is from 2001, a 23-minute episode of Pete Toombs and Andy Stark's finally remembered British television series, providing an overview of Mexican genre cinema from the 50s to the 70s. This has Spanish language theatrical trailer. It's a world premiere on Blu-ray. Like I said, this has the English dub and the Spanish as well. Then we have the Brainiac, which for my money is pretty darned entertaining. Just so you get a sense of like what this monster looks like. He looks like that. He's got like this crazy, and it's interesting because they talk about the design of the monster and how he's more or less a head and hands so that the character can then be put into a suit. I mean, he's basically a guy. He transforms into a human, a regular dude, and then will sometimes just transform into the monster and whatever the guy happened to have been wearing. And now he has the crazy hose hands and the tongue that drills into people's necks and sucks out their brains, and it's nuts. But I think a very entertaining, and if you're a fan of like, you know, 50s horror, you know, drive-in fare, it's like right up there, and it's a lot of fun, I think, because the monster is so crazy, and it has a really great ending. There's flamethrowers involved. It's a lot of good stuff. So this was enjoyable, definitely. This set, I think, is all region. I want to say all these movies are all region. Because, like I said, there's a U.S. and UK version, but it's all region. So anyway, we are talking about the Brainiac. That's a high definition remaster. This has the original Spanish soundtrack mono and an English mono soundtrack, audio commentary, and brain nibbling with publisher from Parts Unknown and screenwriter Los Campinos de la Lucha Libre, Keith J. Rainville. He does the commentary on. It's a pretty entertaining commentary too, by the way. Kiviva Chano, a 2023 24-minute academic author and film scholar Eduardo de la Vega Alfaro discusses the upbringing and unique path of avant-garde, multi-talented iconoclast Chana Ureta. Spanish language trailer, and it's a world premiere on Blu-ray. And then lastly, we have Curse of the Crying Woman. This might have been the one that Alric liked. I can't remember. Original Spanish mono soundtrack, alternative English mono soundtrack, and we have audio commentary with academic and Latin American horror specialist Valeria Villegas Lindval, also known as Marina de Fuego. And then Daughters of La Llorona, 26-minute brand new thing with actor, producer, and singer Julissa de Leano Macedo and author Cecilia Fuentes Macedo, remembering their peculiar relationship they had with their mother, Mexican screen icon Rita Macedo. Daydreams and Nightmares, 2023, 20 minutes. Academic, author, and film scholar Eduardo de la Vega Alfaro discusses the prolific career of actor, writer, producer, director Rafael Baledon. Spanish language trailer, world premiere on Blu-ray. So that is the Mexico Macabre set. A really nice horror set for fans. And then lastly, we have one more box set that doesn't have to do with horror per se, and that is From Hollywood to Heaven. And this is the lost and saved films of the Ormond family. And this is really fascinating because this is another one where I was just like clueless. And it's presented in part by Nicholas Winding Refn. From Hollywood to Heaven tells the extraordinary story of a truly unique American filmmaking family. And apparently for almost half a century, June, Ron, and Tim Ormond, a Nashville mother-father-son trio, cranked out a wild bunch of movies from Lash LaRue westerns to stripper gore musical, outraged the exotic ones, and plunged into every area of showbiz. What's more, they did it all on a shoestring, totally independently, with no studio to back them. At the height of their frenzied career, Ron and June experienced a spiritual awakening when their private plane crashed on the way to a premiere. From then on, they turned their back on secular show business to produce a series of shocking, surreal religious pictures, including an unbelievable trio of films from Mississippi Baptist preacher Etsus Perkle, films such as The Burning Hell, which made millions despite never being shown in a theater, which I find fascinating. Produced by Powerhouse Films in association with Nicholas Winding Refn, and released to coincide with Fab Press's publication of a forensic biographer, Jimmy McDonough's awe-inspiring tome on the extraordinary life and work of the Ormond family. This strictly limited, individually numbered Blu-ray box set contains 13 feature films, a host of archival extra features, including 5 new audio commentaries and a collection of rarely seen shorts, as well as art cards and fully illustrated 100-page book newly written by McDonough. So this is a pretty epic set. And again, I'd not heard of this family. I knew nothing of them. And so it's exciting. Here's the art cards. But it's exciting to discover stuff. You know, you guys watch this channel, you know, all of us have seen a lot of movies, but there's just certain things that that kind of stand out as like, what is that? I don't even know what that is, you know? Okay, so I think this is the first disc. Newly remastered presentations of Untamed Mistress, Please Don't Touch Me, and White Lightning Road from rare surviving standard definition master tapes. Now, one thing they mention in a lot of the intros to each of the movies is that there was apparently a large and devastating flood that befell the Ormond home in 2010, and it wiped out a lot of their original negatives of a lot of this stuff. So some of these are going to be remastered, but a lot of them are coming from standard definition tape sources because that's literally all that's available. So just a heads up on that. If you're a stickler for only high definition presentations, you're not going to be able to watch these movies because they just aren't available in any other way. Anyway, so original mono audio commentary with author and Ormond biographer Jimmy McDonough on Please Don't Touch Me, Edge of Tomorrow, 1961, 50 minutes, June and Ron Ormond's lost portrait of UFO huckster Reinhold O. Schmidt, presented from Rare VHS stores. Disc 2. Let's see here. Yes. It reminds me a little bit of like Herschel Gordon Lewis or something, but obviously it's a little different than that. Newly remastered presentations of 40 Acre Feud, Girl from Tobacco Row, and The Exotic Ones from Rare Surviving Standard Definition Master Tapes. Audio commentary with actress, exotic dancer, fire eater, and carny queen Georgette Dante, and biographer Jimmy McDonough on The Exotic Ones. 40 Acre Feud, radio spots, and other radio spots from some of the others. I love that, regional radio spots. That's really cool to include that stuff. Subtitles. All right, so then we have disc 3. This is new 2K restorations of If Footmen Tire, What Will Horses Do? The Burning Hell and the Believer's Heaven from the original duplicate negatives. Standard definition presentation of The Grim Reaper, mastered from the best available tape source. Audio commentary with Greg Perkle, son of Baptist minister and Ormond collaborator Estes Perkle, and documentarian Brian Rosenquist on If Footmen Tire, What Will Horses Do? Audio commentary with actor-director Tim Ormond and Jimmy McDonough, and film restorations by Peter Conheim on The Burning Hell. Estes Perkle's sermon, 1970, 64 minutes, rare and previously unreleased archival audio recording. Grim Reaper radio spots. And then lastly, we have disc 4. I love these artwork. And this one has a new 2K restoration of the 39 Stripes, and it's about the second coming from the rare surviving 16mm prints. And standard definition presentation of The Sacred Symbol, mastered from the best available tape source, original mono audio commentary from filmmaker Tim Ormond and author Jimmy McDonough on It's About the Second Coming, and tribute to Houdini, 1987, 60 minutes, directed by Tim Ormond and featuring John Calvert performing an array of tricks inspired by celebrated escape artist and magician Harry Houdini. Lash LaRue, A Man in His Memories, 1992, documentary, 71 minutes, rarely seen documentary, that is, directed by Tim Ormond, in which the beloved Western star reflects upon his life and work. June Carr, The Virtual Vaudevillian, 1997, 30 minutes, Tim Ormond's loving portrait of his mother and collaborator June Carr Ormond. Forgotten Memories, 1997, 20 minutes, short drama directed by Tim Ormond, starring June Ormond, in which two women meet under extraordinary circumstances. And Forgotten Memories, production footage, 15 minutes, 39 Stripes radio spots. And then you get the limited 100-page booklet. 100-page book. I misspoke. And again, beautiful, bound. These are always really nice. And this includes an extended essay with Jimmy McDonough, Peter Conheim on the restorations, and full film credits. So a lot of great stuff in these sets from Indicator. So anyway, that will do it for this round. But there's just so much in these sets to go through that I sometimes end up holding off and saying, oh, I'll get through it and I'll, get it up on the channel when I'm done. But then I realize it's just too much. And so I'd much rather, at least go through it and present it to you and allow you to see what's contained in these sets and go through it with you so that at least you can be aware of it, and instead of waiting for me to finish going through all these. But I do love these sets, and I do love Indicator, and they continue to be one of the most interesting and thorough boutique labels out there. Truly one of the best doing it, So I'm always excited to see what they're doing. As I mentioned before, they're into 4K now with some Jean Rollin films, and so they're just busting out everywhere, and I love them. I truly do. So anyway, they are recommended. There isn't a release they put out that I have not enjoyed, so it's really a no-lose situation if you want to start collecting Indicator. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.